and your arguments this afternoon. I'd like to go back to my opening comments and talk about the three areas of this bill because we've certainly strayed way off target today. First of all, the first area of this bill is the real-time eligibility. That's going to help get services sooner to individuals. They will have multiple ways in which they can complete the application: online, phone, in person, etc., etc. It's not requiring one size fits all. In fact, I would argue and suggest to you that that opportunity actually extends the chance for someone to get their benefits sooner because it will be able to be real-time, verified quickly. We also, under the notion of real-time eligibility, we have the opportunity to make sure that other services or other programs that one might be eligible for is also caught and that they can apply for those as well. I'm going to suggest to you that it actually helps the consumer get what they need quicker and perhaps more benefits than what they would have otherwise. Second piece of this bill, we've talked a lot about the asset test. We've talked a lot about the verification. We've talked a lot about the resources. Let me give you the truth of what this bill has in it. An individual is allowed $15,000. They're allowed a car worth any amount of money. Their home is not included in the asset test. It can be of any value possible. They can own a second car of $10,000 before that is counted. And finally, I would suggest to you that we're 30% more generous than what the feds are as it relates to the FPL. Folks, this asset test, media, this asset test, that's the facts, not what you've been hearing throughout today. Number 3, child support recovery. We've talked nothing about that in this particular conversation this afternoon. I'm a bit surprised because that's a critical piece of this bill in which young moms, young dads will have the opportunity to receive the benefits that are due to them from child support. Nobody's mentioned them in this room today. In fact, we've talked about the fiscal note, we've talked about the FTEs, we've talked how much this is going to cost, all the extra bureaucracy that we're going to create and growing government. The majority of those FTEs go to help 40,000 cases in the state of Iowa identify and receive their child support recovery. A few myths that I'd like to dispel that we've talked about or I've heard talked about today. The 10 days, the appeal process, the timing is diverting from nothing that is current standard practice with the department today. This bill is changing nothing related to the timing. This bill takes nothing away from those who are, and the key word here is eligible. If you're eligible for the benefit, you will receive the benefit. It protects the program for those who need it most, and I would suggest to you that we are creating a safety net today that is sustainable for the long term. Without creating that safety net, the benefits won't be in existence in my children's lifetime. Those who will be removed from the list, I've heard a lot of conversation about who will be removed from the benefits. Only those who are ineligible. The asset test. Does it apply to Medicaid? Does it apply to SNAP? What other programs does it apply to? It applies to SNAP and SNAP only. Heard a lot of conjecture about folks getting kicked off of medical care. Nonsense. We heard in the public hearing from a few employers that they're struggling to find workers, and I've heard about how the economic impact, I've heard about the opportunity today about the opportunity for people to get jobs, or will we have enough people for these jobs? The employers that I heard speak at the public hearing, which hasn't been mentioned yet today, said that they can't hire oftentimes new employees because one of the obstacles they run into are those new potential employees saying, I don't want the job because I'll get kicked off my benefits. Another gentleman in the public hearing said, I can't give employees raises at times because they ask me not to give them a raise because that will kick me off benefits. Perhaps this is a job creator. Folks, I believe this keeps everybody at the table. It keeps those in need. It keeps the taxpayer. It balances for all. Might I also add one more time that federal tax dollars, state tax dollars, all come from the taxpayer's pocket, folks. House Republicans believe that maintaining this safety net is critical for all Iowans, those who receive as well as those who give. Mr. Speaker, I move Senate File 494, unamended.